turning, as you can see on the PowerPoint slide. We'll just move on to turning. A couple of extra items inside turning, but what I've chosen to do here is maybe pick the biggest and maybe the best one. That's waveform turning cycles, another brand new cycle which has been introduced at 2015 R1. Obviously for turners. Now millers will know the word waveform, in fact lots of Edgecam customers will know the word waveform because this has been our world-beating machining algorithm which has been found inside the roughing cycle. Should be using that. Some great results from customers up and down the length and breadth of the country who are using waveform. Well, this is now being adopted into a turning cycle, so what we're hoping to do is to share the benefits. This little screenshot that you see at the moment is a typical grooving cycle, but it's not exclusive to grooving. It is a turning cycle, but I borrowed this from our colleagues over at Sandvik. This is a typical grooving cycle where we stab, where we plunge into the part, and in lots of cases Sandvik and other business partners have been, Seco and so on and so forth, have been asking us to produce this waveform or trochoidal, if you will, algorithm. So that's now being produced inside 2015 R1. Brand new cycle. What does it do for us? Well, basically the algorithm always guarantees that you've got a constant load on the tool. You're not going to overload the tool. This is the same principle as we would find in milling, that the tool engagement angle is kept perfectly static all the way throughout the machining of the part, regardless of where it moves on a part. At the moment this is supported on round inserts, so it could be a grooving tool but with equal radiuses on it, or of course on a button tool, and of course it adopts a lot of the favourites that we see in normal roughing, in normal turning cycles, the use of lead and lag angles, and also current stock lead in and lead out. So again, some firm favourites in there. The benefits are the same as the benefits that you'd enjoy inside using waveform milling. That's to say that you get better tool life because obviously you're not overloading the tool, and that you're able to increase fees and speeds quite dramatically. I don't know if any of the audience today attended our open house last November in Coventry to DMG. We had a live machining example there, and I think we doubled the fees and speeds using the waveform turning cycle. So let's have a look at it in all its glory. So we'll just clear the last file. I'll just open up the last file till today. Waveform turning. So the part that you're about to see has 3 cycles on it, 3 waveform roughing cycles on it, and obviously in this particular case you'll see it working on grooves. I just open up the first cycle. Let me just explain to you some of the parameters. Of course we get step over, which is a parameter that we've seen many times, but cut direction, always cut to the left or the right, or in the first instance we're lacing, we're going backwards and forwards. And we have obviously the current stock, which is a command that we know and love inside Edgecam, because we want to make sure that we're not always, that we don't want to cut fresh air. Let's just take these into the machine simulator, because I think we get a better impression of how the cycle behaves inside machine simulator. So the first one is lacing, or zigzagging if you will. And what you'll notice is always trying to, well it's not trying, it's always keeping the tool engagement constant. And in this case the tool movement is laced forwards and backwards. Next one is always to a direction. So this case we're always going towards the tail stock, we're always going to the right. So you want to do that maybe for chip control. And then the next one is just simply going all to the left. But again, what's more important here is to talk about the actual load of the tool, is that the load is always constant on that tool. If we actually look at the cycles themselves, we had a quick peek at one there at the beginning. Let's take a look at this last one here. So this is the material gone to the left using a 10% step over. You'll notice that you've got lead and trail angles. So this is just to back the tool off a little bit, so you're not actually going to jar the tool the deeper it goes into a groove. May be able to see that there if I turn on the swathing function in Edgecam. Yeah, you'll see that slightly better now, how it's relieved the sidewall the further it's gone down into the part. So that's what the lead and trail angles do. Give you some relief inside that area. But it's not exclusively just for grooves. If I take this cycle here, the first one, there's quite an important parameter which talks about how the cycle looks at the stock. And in this case, if I say we'll begin at the 0 degree, or if you will, begin at the 3 o'clock position, it will just do some regeneration for me. Now this will consider all the stock and the feature, and it will appreciate that to get to the feature it needs to clear the stock. So you'll now see now it's gone and crossed over that particular area, so it is used as a bona fide turning cycle. Don't be thinking it's just for grooving. You'll see this turning in this particular case. Okay, good. Alright, so we're nearly towards the end. I just wanted to spend the last couple of moments talking about some miscellaneous enhancements. So these, there's lots and lots of enhancements. Obviously we only get time to maybe pick out our favourites, but from a generic point of view I think this one's quite important. The fact that we now see the, I'll just move that out of the way I think. We've always had a feedback window, but now we're getting more specific information about the feedback window. So this is the typical information that we see inside turning. Yeah, but which cam instruction is causing rings are less than 40%? This is what you would have seen in 2014 R2, but now in 2015 R1 it's actually going to designate and specifically tell you which particular cam instruction is giving us that feedback. So that's very, very useful. And talking about turning, in turning you can now simply ask Edgecam to post-process the code generate for a single tool. So that's something that millers have had for a while, but certainly turners have been asking for that, and that's now been included inside 2015 R1. So you'll see that when you generate code. Of course, we've run out of time. There's lots and lots of different enhancements to take a look at. So again, I'd strongly recommend to you to have a look at what's new as ever. It's crammed, packed full of enhancements. Thanks for spending the time today to take on board this presentation. Apologies to those people who have not been able to get round to answering your question, but I'll do that through email later on today. And there will be an email announcement regarding taking this particular presentation and taking the download of this particular presentation. So thank you for your attendance today. Thank you for taking the time out. I'll be speaking to you again maybe in another 4 to 5 months with 2015 R2. But in the meantime, have a great weekend. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.